It's important to understand that there's going to be good and bad days when it comes to your shoulder rehab, and this is all to be expected. I want to first start by talking about pain and what pain truly is, and it's more complex than you think.
Once upon a time, all the lands were fraught with persistent pain. So widespread was this affliction that 1 in 4 people experienced it. The pain lasted for more than 3 months. It shadowed their daily lives, held them back from everyday activities, and the interventions they tried proved useless. Hey, pain, go away, we've tried it all, but still you stay. Moving less, taking pills, knives and needles, and still we're sore. We can't take no more, no more. But the pain remains like a loyal companion. The people's hopes faded, and they became resigned to living with the pain. Only now the pain was a beast. Then along came a group of researchers, of which I am one. Back off, big fella. I'm Professor Lorimer Mosley, and I'm a pain scientist. Pain scientists are starting to think differently about pain and its causes, and we're making exciting discoveries, like how the way you think about your pain can change the way it feels. Over the next few minutes, I'll help you to understand your pain. Understanding is important because it can change how much things hurt and how much your body can do, and it can help you to tame the beast. First, trust me about this. Pain is not an accurate measure of tissue health. Pain is a protector. By making unpleasant feelings, your brain changes your behaviour so you can avoid injury or your tissues can heal. Sometimes pain is not helpful, like phantom limb pain. You don't expect a missing limb to ache, but it does, and the pain is very real. So how do we explain this? Well, pain is a warning signal from your brain that depends on credible evidence to say your body needs protecting. Sometimes pain's too protective and you get unnecessary warning signals. Pain scientists now understand that there are many ways our nervous system ends up producing unnecessary warning signals. Take conditioning, for example. You think of Pavlov's dog. Every time food was offered, Pavlov rang a bell. Of course, the dog would salivate seeing the food. This went on for a while. Eventually, the dog was conditioned to salivate for the bell alone. Well, conditioning is just one of the ways your body learns pain. And the longer your nervous system produces pain, the better it gets at producing it. Your body learns pain. So what feeds this beast? Well, let's look at how pain works. In your body's tissues, there are specific neurons which normally only respond to harmful stimuli, whether mechanical, chemical, or thermal. When they are activated, they send a warning signal to your spinal cord, which can in turn send a signal to your brain. This activity in neurons is called nociception, and it's happening all the time, but only sometimes results in pain. Most of the time, the brain protects you with other things, like movement. Once the warning signal reaches the brain makes sense of it based on the information arriving and a vast amount of information already stored. If there's good reason to think protection is required, then your brain makes pain. One of our amazing discoveries is that you can have pain without any physical stimuli. Thoughts and places might activate the warning signals, and the pain feels exactly the same. But it's not just your brain. Your spinal cord also learns how to generate unnecessary warning signals. So how do you know when your nervous system is learning pain? You may notice your pain spreads or comes on without warning. Your body feels odd and it's hard to move properly. Your pain changes quickly with your mood and small annoyances can set it off. Old injuries start to hurt again. You're more sensitive to stimuli. And the longer the pain goes on, the more all of this occurs. The old way we understood pain could not explain these things and left many sufferers feeling like no one believed it was real. Or for it to hurt so badly, there must be a major tissue problem. But we now know how persistent pain happens. So how can you tame the beast? Pain is a very personal thing. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. And while you probably have well thought out coping strategies, it's time to take a new approach to dealing with and reducing your pain, one that focuses on retraining your pain system. This might mean testing yourself physically and moving more than you normally would. Being honest about your current attitudes and beliefs can also help, as can asking your health professional new questions.
How do I know if my pain system is being overprotective?
How do I retrain my pain system to be less protective?
How do I know if I'm safe to move?
So be brave and have hope. because it is possible to tame the beast.
The more shoulder pain that you can control, the better you're going to do in your rehab, and the less flare-ups you're going to suffer from. And even more importantly, the time that you experience that flare-up will be significantly less. Weightlifters who tend to have shoulder pain tend to go on a roller coaster up and down. They try something, then the pain flares, then they rest, they're told to ice it, they might even get an injection, and then when they get back to that same activity, they suffer from another flare-up. And they stay on this cycle over and over and over again because the root cause never gets addressed. So our topic for today is the rule of three. The rule of three is going to tell us when to progress and when to back off. Everyone knows the visual analog scale. Starts at 0, goes all the way up to 10. 0 means zero pain, 10 means worst pain imaginable. And typically a 6 on this scale is very high. If we're doing an activity and our pain's at a level 6, it means our body's putting us in a fight or flight status. This means our stress levels, our heart rate, and even our pain levels are going to be increased, and that can lead to avoidance of sleep or lack of sleep. We need to take that activity and we need to back it down, or we even need to modify it. If the pain's at a 1, 2, or 3, that means it's generally safe and our nervous system is in a chill and relaxed mode, meaning it's okay to continue. But keep in mind with this rule of 3, we never want our pain to increase by more than 3 points. An example of this is if you're doing an activity, say dumbbell bench press, and your pain starts at a 3 out of 10, and it goes all the way up to a 7, 8, or 9 out of 10, that means you need to scale back and look at some things in detail. Let's talk about those things you need to look at. There are 4 to be exact. Number 1 is range of motion. You may need to restrict it. Number 2 is load or weight being used. You may need to lower that. Number 3 is your volume or your sets and your reps. You may need to reduce that. And then 4th, to lower stress levels, you may need to modify or just change up the exercise entirely. However, if the pain's at a 0, this means you're good. You're in the clear. But this doesn't mean you go and you hit a bench press PR if you haven't been able to bench press for months without pain. This means you can start using light dumbbells, you can start pressing things a little bit more and challenging your shoulder joint. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap up this video by me talking about simple modifications you can make to 7 of the most common exercises our weightlifters tend to have shoulder pain with that lets them still lift the way they want to while they're starting and going through their rehab program. First one is going to be bench press. You can still do bench press by changing to a neutral grip and moving from normal bench press plane to the scapular plane with your hands facing each other, keeping your elbows tucked in. Second one's going to be incline press. You're going to do the same exact thing as you did in the bench press. Keep the elbows tucked in just like you did in the previous exercise. Now you want to engage your core and flatten your back as well. And sometimes that means putting 2 weights on the ground and putting your feet on top of those weights to take that big curve out of the lower back. Number 3 is overhead press. Right? We're using dumbbells still here. Now you can use light dumbbells to do this. Try not to arch your lower back too much. So you want to engage your core and your glutes so your body doesn't move at all. And try and press in that scapular plane, meaning hands are facing each other and you're just going up and down for repetitions. Number 4 is lateral raises. You want to try neutral grip here. So that means you're going to turn your thumbs up to the ceiling, perform them that way, which is going to recruit more of your anterior delts in the front. If you still have pain with that, try and do it in the scapular plane, meaning bring your arms out to 45 degrees in front of the body and try and do your lateral raises from there in a more forward motion. Now, push-ups, this is a tricky one. Most people have pain with push-ups when they're wide grip. So if you want to go narrow grip about shoulder distance apart, that should work sufficiently. But if you still experience pain with this and you're not squeezing your shoulder blades back as much as you want to, switch to trying them in a narrow grip off of the bench. Okay, like you see here, if you still have pain with the narrow grip off of a bench, switch to doing narrow grip off of the wall. Number 5 is going to be pull-ups. You can switch to doing a neutral grip pull-up as you see here, where the hands are facing each other, elbows are tucked inwards. If painful, you can switch to a reverse grip there, or you can go to an inverted row where your knees are bent, doing it off of a barbell with the neutral grip, hands facing each other if you have a special type of bar, or overhand grip like you see here. Number 6 is lat pull down. This one is not super common for most weightlifters, okay? Some people have pain with lat pull down, some people do not. If you're one of the people with pain, you want to avoid using that long bar with a wide grip. Switch to using a close grip V-bar where the hands are kind of tapered together a bit and you keep your elbows tucked in and you squeeze your shoulder blades back before you even pull your arms down, then let them roll upwards to the ceiling on the way up while engaging your core. And number 7 is dips. This one has a bit of controversy around it, meaning some people like them, some people don't, some people agree or disagree. Dips, I try to tend to get people to avoid until the end of our rehab program. But if you want to do them, you can do them on a bench with your knees bent, squeeze your shoulder blades back, do a minor chin tuck to keep your head in alignment with your trunk, and make sure to clear the shoulders by keeping them pinned back for the entirety of the exercise. What also helps here is to keep your elbows tucked inwards towards each other. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That is it for today. That is a very information-packed video for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. Make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our new videos coming up. And if you're looking for a shoulder pain fix demo to figure out the source of your shoulder pain, comment the word shoulder below and I'll send it right over.